Hey folks, it's Phil the Miniature Model Maker again. Thank you, Gunpla Life Dad, for giving me the inspiration to do this. We're going to unbox every single Gundam artifact from series 1, 2, 3, and 4. Needed a break from the scribing on the Rick Diaz project. So you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full series, and then the duplicates. This is the only 10 unit set that I have. The others are one of each. Full disclosure, I got a bunch, most of these for Christmas, and at least opened the box to see which of the special colors I had. A couple of them. But some of these have had some work done onto them as I wanted to try building them. The Rick Diaz is the current subject of the stream build. So we're going to start with one, work our way all the way through, and see what we've got. All right. Knife safety, folks. Number one, Rick Diaz. It's the yellow one. If you want to see more of this, tune in to the live stream playlist, the Gundam Artifact playlist, and you will see all of it from start to finish. I will be doing a let's build for every single one of these, including Series 5 when it comes out. It's on pre-order. I really, really love these little artifacts, and I'm very excited to be doing that with folks. All right, there's two, the EXS. Now, when I ordered this, the company that had it had sold one of the Rick Diaz's out of this, so they gave me a third EXS. So I'm not going to open those other ones. They've already been opened, and I've done some work and practice with them. However, this one is a proper unbox. So there are the instructions. I have the camera turned around this way this time. There we go. Sorry, no ASMR here. I am not good at video editing, and I need the parts on the sprue when I build them so I can find them. However, this is going to be kind of fun. 1, 2. Three and 4. So it is just like all of them. It's a 4-part, 4-sprue kit. A, B, C, D, except this is series 1, and they don't put the A, B, C down. One tip you're going to want to keep in mind when building this kit, these little guys are hollow. So if you plan on painting it, make sure to paint the inside whatever color you want, because there is no cover on it. You're going to see the hollow inside. So when I get around to painting my one or more, I'm going to do the insides black. So there's that. It's kind of exciting. It's a neat kit. I'm not a big fan of the fuel things or whatever those are. So I'm going to do that on 1 or 2 of the builds, but the other one I'm going to leave them out and have just a regular Gundam kit. All right, so high V's. Again, one's already been worked on. And here is the other. So there are the instructions. And another thing they did not do in series 1 that I noticed in future series is there no do this first, do this second, do this third order of assembly for each of these various parts. So when doing series 1, it's a good idea to look through it, one, each individual step, because there might be certain times or order of assembly, like this foot needs to be assembled and put into this half before joining these two halves. Unless you want to be fancy, like a lot of people, and make a little C clip so you can remove um, while you're doing for painting and things. And maybe I'll be able to show you that with one of these kits. So, like all of these little artifacts, they're really detailed. Um, I'm a fan of this particular one, the Hy-Vee. Yeah, forgive me, folks. I'm not a lifelong Gundam fan. I only got into building them once these artifacts came out. But I am finding a new love for the franchise. I'm typically a Robotech kind of guy. That's what I grew up with. Um, but yeah, the details on these things are spectacular and are worth spending the time doing some scribing on, even though it is some rather hard work. Looking at these sprues, the back fins, because we get it on the cover. Lovely picture on the cover. We've all seen that. That's a cool looking model with that shield and the gun. So there we are with that. Sadly, it's actually not sadly. It's the orange. The clear plastics are really hard to see if you're going to do any detail work, any scribing on it. They're very challenging to see. I intend to paint almost all of these. Might leave some of the colored ones separate. Be kind of neat to try doing some buffing um, and get kind of a candy coat color just from the straight plastic. Nightingale, this one's orange. I've already started building that. Of all the series ones, this is by far the most challenging. Nightingale. You will definitely want fine pin sets and tweezers and glue. There are some parts in there where glue, these little jobs up here on the wings, they're tricky. But since I know that one is the orange color, haha, we have our first red special color, and this one is going to be a joy. Yeah, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 tiny little pieces. They're only about that big. I build 40K too, and these tiny little parts that go in to hold whatever these things are on the outside are the size of a Tau Fire Warrior's antenna for their helmet. They are tiny and easily lost. Thankfully, if you do drop one and can't find it, you can just glue these cool looking things on. And I love the gun on this unit. The shield too, but that's a really righteous looking gun, and the head's pretty cool. And I'll show you just how well it's going to be really hard to see with the lights in the camera I've got, just how small those parts are. So this one comes in 4 sprues and 1 loose part. You got the rear skirt part comes loose, comes as a loose part. It's just too big to fit on one of these sprues. And there we are. The 2 halves of the main body, the gun, and these are the little guys I was talking about. They're 3 millimeters at their longest axis. So very, very small. Take care when you're cutting them out, or they might just go pew and you're gone. You're toast. Um, this one I think would be a lot of fun to try buffing. So this will be a later build. Unless somebody else wants it and they want a pristine, fresh out of the box one and trade for something, let me know. I would be down for that. I'm going to paint all these, so it's kind of a shame to have the neat color ones covered up if somebody would rather have the plain plastic and has the nippers that are good enough to not cause any discoloration or stress marks on the red. And then the last one, Violent Custom. This one, that's a pretty chunky boy. And has already been built, as you can see. I did a lot of these just because I wanted to get building, use my hands. They're all push fit. None of them are glued except for a couple parts here and there, which on Violent are going to be these side hoses along this part here. The way they go into their slots and just the general size of the pegs and the piece, they're really fiddly. And I was like, screw that. I'm going to just glue them right off the bat. So I highly recommend you do the same to avoid some frustration in the future. And while building, it just makes it easier. But we'll put this one together. And the head's in the box because it's got the nub there, and I'm gonna do a little bit of cutting and cleaning so I can glue it. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of an Invid from Mospita, or the last part of Robotech. So I'm going to definitely do that one up in Invid colors, and probably the Nightingale and maybe the Quibbly too. This seems like a fun idea. And then last but not least, the other Violent is the red. Now, why is it darker than the others? Oh, that's because I put some shade on it so I could more easily see the details for scribing. It's nearly impossible for me to see the panel lines and other details when it's just the bare orange plastic, let alone the translucent candy colored plastic, because the light just goes through it and I'm lost. But yeah, that one's going to be kept for my collection. But probably won't be painted. I might do shading and panel lining on it. But there we are, friends. There is all of Series 1 Gundam Artifact. I'm going to put them back. Hopefully they won't fall out. I am going to come back through afterwards and tape them because some of these parts are little itty bitty and heads are floating around. If you're interested in a trade on some of these, anything I've got duplicates of, I may be up for it. Shoot me a comment, and I just might be able to. Now we get on to Series 2. This one has the full armor Gundam, the RGM-79 Thunderbolt, Dome Tropen. I really like that. Actually, I like all of these. These are all really cool. This one's my least favorite for sure. But this guy here that's going to be an intricate build and paint for sure. I'm not generally a fan of the old grandpa style, just plain old Gundam, but these guys with their extra bits and things make it look really cool. And I intend to use these as game pieces eventually. So any variation is nice. It's currently January 14th, 2025. I got these at the end of last year. So anybody interested in getting into Gundam Artifact, you can still get them. Amazon, AliExpress, not surprisingly, has has a bunch of them. They're pretty easy to get there and fairly quick turnaround. You do have to wait for shipping from China, but that's not. It's pretty fast. And let's see, Amazon, AliExpress, and I got the pre-order of Series 5 from Big Bad Toy Store, and one of these series from Gamers Guild AZ, Gamers Guild Arizona. I'm not sure if they're going to carry. Oh, Series 1 from them. I'm not sure if they're going to carry anymore, but you can certainly find the whole series affordably, not paying eBay collector prices on most of them. I did find that the Series 3 seems to be the most popular and was by far the most expensive out of all of them. The 5 models in here cost me the same as the 10 for Series 1. So, yeah. Going here to there, the Dom Tropen. Right there, that's a neat one. I kind of like the Xeon designs. They're kind of neat, to be honest. Looking at here. Okay, so here are the instructions. What notes have I put down? Cut the pegs. Yeah. So on this portion here, the assembly peg, the join peg, that's too long to get a good close seam, so you need to trim those. And here on the head, it has a bit of a gap between the head and the body, a neck, if you will. So I suggested, just made the note here to trim the tab down and glue the head straight to the socket and glue the socket. And what you're going to find now, they took some, I guess, customer feedback. 1, 2, 3, 4. The order. There you go. Finally, it's very helpful. The order of assembly for these, which is why I suggest, unlike the full-size Gunpla kits, leave your parts on the sprue, or if you do want to cut them all out at once, separate them by step into a little container. One of those cheap jewelry containers or organizing containers will save you some trouble, especially trying to find some of the itty bitty little tiny bits. And this one I couldn't help myself. I had to try assembling it just to see. And like all the artifacts, they do like to fall apart if you're not nice and glue them. Um, but yeah, that's really cool. And here's what I was talking about with the C-clip. Just cutting a portion of the full thing out so you can, well, shoot. Get it in and out for painting. Except in this case, I made slightly too big of a cut and the plastic was just weak enough that it's no longer staying in place. But yeah, that's the Dumptropin. Pretty cool thing with the bazooka. Not gonna lie, that's gonna look awesome on the tabletop. And with all of these various models, it means a lot of different color schemes. Feel free to give me some pointers on where to find good official color schemes or suggest color schemes of your own. It'd be good to have that information. All right, now this guy is the Thunderbolt. You can't see that, can you? With that, too bright. Can I turn this down a little bit? Does it still make it easier to see? Not really. It's the Thunderbolt right there. Excuse me, there. Now this was a test that I had on this. This was the first one. I was wondering why the heck am I having so much trouble seeing these panels for making details and prescribing? And I thought, well, why don't I just put some shade on it and take it off like I do in enamels? So I made up some ink and airbrush thinner wash and just washed it all over and rubbed it off with a Q-tip like you see in the Rick Diaz build. And now they show up so much better on the camera and I can see them. So that's very, very happy news. I'll be doing this for every other one from now on. But this one, that's just a 3 sprue build. It doesn't have a whole lot of too many small parts. There's one right here, and the head as always is going to be small. But it does have a lot of nitpicky little details. So if you're into scribing, good luck to you. God bless. You and I can suffer together. But yeah, that's going to be a neat build. And if I can hold myself to it and not get too terribly excited, I will do all these in order. But I may not be able to hold myself to it. I might get too excited and have to go out of order and in my build streams. And this, the full armor Gundam 006. I guess that's the best way to do it. And another one that I wanted to see how it was built. And it's an easy kit. This is a simple one. Very nice, straightforward, simple. Nothing really surprising or that would cause difficulty. There are just a lot of seams, panel seams, and a fair amount of mold lines to be removed, but it's nothing that's not doable by somebody with the dedication and the interest in doing so. But really, and these arms don't currently move, so those are going to get snipped as well. So I can, oh well, this one can go. Can this one? Here we go. It was just too tight. But again, C-clips for painting make it nice, but you're going to need to be careful with them. I'm going to glue all these, so I'm not terribly worried. But the gun moves up and down a little bit. The arms go that way. Don't really go left or right, but they'll go up and down. Nice kit. I'm also, again, looking forward to this one. Number 9, Zaku 3. Cool kit. I like them. This one is still in the bag because it's green and it's going to stay in the bag. I'm not going to take this one out because it's the special color. And yeah, that's kind of cool. I really like the Zaku as a kit, as a design, and the model. So I'm kind of bummed that it's the green color. Had the Thunderbolt been the special color, I would have been really happy because I'd have no problems with painting over it. But yeah, the Zaku. If any of you folks out there have a new in bag Zaku 3 that's the traditional orange color and you want to do a swap, let me know because I really want to paint this guy. And it would be a shame for a potential collector's item to get painted over. All right, and the last one, the Assault Basta Gundam V2. Hey, mostly legit unboxing. Woo! I haven't looked at this one. It's still been stuffed in this box. I just peeked my head in to see if it was a special color or not. So this is my first time seeing it. Anything one-sided instructions? Yeah. Nothing on here that looks too terribly worrisome, except making sure you have the notch on either of these legs in the right place. I assume something attaches to that, or it's a cutout so you don't get in the way of the other molding. The head, yeah, that looks all right. Let's open it up and see. So anybody watching this that builds it, I've seen a whole lot of Japanese, Korean, and Chinese people making these, but very few English speakers. Let's talk. I would love to have a talk with you about how you build yours, what your general process is if you go to the extreme that you normally would with a regular Gunpla build, aka scribing, panel filling, gap seam filling, etc. All right, so here's the head. Do I have? regular toothpick edge. Yeah, that's the crest on the heads are almost always the worst. And it looks like, okay. Heads, leave the heads on the sprue as long as you possibly can. And yep, there are those little bits from the leg that look like they go in. You go in like that. And you up to there? Or there? Up there. Interesting. I'll have to assemble it to see what that actually does. But yeah, look at this. It's got guns for days and a shield. It's gonna look really nice. Painted up. Again, a lot of little details. They love their little round circles on these things. And they are a pain in the butt to scribe. But all in all, this is a nifty kit. I might have to either do this one near the end after I've gotten experience and won't really screw it up, or give into my excitement and do it early, which was always a problem. My enthusiasm getting the better of me. So there we are. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Series 2 Gundam Artifact. Put them back in the box. Now, here's the one that I'm really excited about. Series 3. It has some of the best looking models, in my opinion, of the whole thing. The Goof Flight type, Stark Yegan, they're really good. And the rest of the Quebly, I see not being too into the TV show or just the other media. I don't know the story behind this. It's kind of neat looking, but not exactly my thing. And these guys are likewise pretty cool. But that big gun and these missiles, they just really get my excitement going. And these giant panels, nice big panels on the legs. Hopefully the Quebly will be the special color. Cross our fingers, folks. All right. There we are. Number 11, Goof Flight type. New in box. Yay. Open. Tear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The pink Goof. Well, that's getting painted. Again, unless somebody has a new in box, new in bag, unchanged up sprue that they would want to trade with one of the plain orange ones, this special pretty orange guy is getting painted. But just in case a collector out there does want to do a trade, I'm going to leave this in the bags. And we have our proof of brand opening and the instructions as well. And you've got a long time before this one's going to come up on the stream queue. So if you're interested out there, I would be happy to do a 1-for-1 swap. I want that goof model. All right. Number 12, Zeta Gundam. And that one's okay. This here. If it weren't for the wings and back, I would probably like it more. I may just assemble it as the normal guy without the wings. The thing that always turned me off about Gunpla when I saw them was how excessive some of these things are. And that's just a personal preference. They're clearly very popular, and the kits are always good. I mean, I lived in Japan for a while, in Shizuoka. 20 minutes train ride from Bandai. So there were dedicated Gunpla shops everywhere. And some of those kits were really, really nice. But not quite my thing. I spent my money on Macross models, which will also be built on this channel eventually. All right, here are the instructions for the number 12 Zeta Gundam. Anything in here that looks this assembly might be a little odd, but otherwise doesn't look too bad. How about the head? Oh, okay, so that's the back of the head, that's the front of the head, and that's the face of the head and the peg. All right, that's going to be fun to deal with. All right, so this one comes with 3 sprues and a body loose. And what do we see? Yeah, other than the head, which, like most of these multi-part heads, highly suggest having a good set of fine tip pin sets. They're invaluable. Even regular tweezers are better than nothing, but the pin sets are very nice. Okay, so here we go. And sprue A, B, and C. Again, in Series 2, they started putting the letters on the sprues, which was a nice touch. I forgot to mention that when looking at them. So body is part 5. Looks pretty standard. I've got a feeling on the gun, and likely the wings are going to have to sand down or cut down the pegs to get a flush fit. It's always worth pre-assembling like I did with Series 1, the kit, to just look at it and see how it fits and see what kind of modifications you need to make to do a final assembly that's smooth. Oh. And that one actually has a single back. Nope, I'm just going to put it in. Follow tradition. All right. Number 13, Quebly. Exciting. All right, how does this one? Oh my. All right, so this one looks a lot like the Nightingale in its intricacy. The Nightingale actually had two sides to it. But yeah, this middle part here of this, the arm, actual arm, is this is the assembly for the arm. And then the housing and everything else that goes with it. So there are 74, 70, 76, 79, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. Do we have an 87? So there are at least 86 parts to this kit. 4 full sprues. So if you don't have fine tip nippers, you're gonna be in for some hurt. Yeah. 55, 56, 38, and 39. Where do they go? Ouch. Those guys go on the arm assembly. Oof. That's going to hurt. Glue. Definitely glue these once you're sure of their location. Otherwise, you're going to have hurt when assembling this, and they will very possibly come out because it's looks like they're both, yeah, both attachment points are to the same side of the central arm. And that's just recipe for sadness. All right, we have C, D, B, and A. A, B, C, D. The hands too. They've got, oh my goodness gracious. Absolutely ridiculous detail on the palm of the hands. I love how they have put these details in places that you won't normally see. That shows a level of pride and attention to detail and care for your product that we don't see in other model kits, and give something for people like me who like to paint less frequently seen things, but still visible from the right angle, things to details to paint. So I like that. Anybody watching this wants to give me the short story of the Quibbly? Is this somebody? This looks like a new type would use it. I don't know. Which series is it from? Does it say my Japanese is horrendous after having not been there for a long time. You don't use it, you lose it. All right. Neat kit. This is probably going to be one that I will hold off on to later as well. My obsessiveness about maintaining order and consistency with things will probably make me do that. in the 13th video, 13th stream. Okay, Stark Jigun. I really like this guy. Thank you. It's orange. Anything? Nope. That one is straightforward, just like the armor. Full armor Gundam. Nice. I like that. It's like the 810 Thunderbolt 2. Straightforward, durable, and kicks butt. So there's C and D. And B and A. All right. Again, looking at it other than the head, which will always be a comment. Actually, this head's got a itty bitty, teeny tiny little antenna. Removing that from the sprue, cleaning that up, and just getting that glued into the head. Or where does it go? Goes to the side of the head. Oh my. That's prime loss or breakage territory. But everything else, pretty straightforward. Not too much detail. And there's some. But no. This one's going to be decent to describe. Nothing too terribly small, no really finicky little intricate details that I can see so far, or if there are, not too much. And lots of nice big panels to run the scribe along. Because if you're putting guide glue on these things, guide tape on these, you're either more insane or a better person than I am. Probably both. Just like those folks who mask these. That is admirable. I admire that level of attention and craftsmanship when building. And I aspire to it, and I will try to do it one of these days, but I have a feeling I won't be doing a whole lot of it. All right, last one. Number 15, 00 Razor. Another orange. Woo. Wouldn't that be something if we got multiple candy colors, special colors in a single non-duplicate container? All right. Yeah. This one here. I can see some assembly care issues, but it's generally, this is surprisingly straightforward, surprisingly robust. I wonder if we can, if this can be assembled without that nose piece and just make the wings cool looking shield things. I don't know. We'll see. It kind of seems a shame to build the only one that I've got in a non-standard configuration. That sort of thing is usually reserved for duplicates in my world. Make the first one according to the instructions and as it should be in its world, and then you can make changes to it. But yeah, I never got why they decided they would make transformable Gundam. I mean, transformable robots have been a thing forever and a day, but still, never seemed like the Gundam thing to me. Okay, so there is an extra part in here too. That's part 6, and that's what? Please tell me this wasn't from one of the other kits. Nope, it's not. Okay. It's the main torso without a front. Or a back, and that's the front. We'll see. Little tiny fiddly bits with the crest. And yeah, this has some very shallow panel separation that you either got to be really careful with your primer and paint with an airbrush, or be really careful with your primer and paint with numerous thin hand brush coats, and or scribe. This is going to be a detailed job. Yeah. I would almost say if you are going to scribe, do it on the sprue before you remove anything. With the amount of detail on some of these little tiny parts and the way it looks like they're fitting together, I could see that being difficult. Yeah, this sword gun arm that's got some detail to it. Yep. Take your time, enjoy it. Lots of little details. And hand painting. I think this one's going to get brush painted by hand. Thank goodness these things are so good at being sub-assembled. That would make life a whole lot easier because they are models, even though I'm going to use them on the tabletop. Will be not just tabletop quality. All right, so what we saw, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, Series 3, Goof Flight Type, Zeta Gundam, Quebly, Stark Jagun, and 00 Razor. Ryza. Okay, Ryza. 00 Ryza. And last but certainly not least, Series 4. And this came from AliExpress, approved Sotsu certificate of license grant. I assume Sotsu is the Chinese sunrise. Since a lot of companies have to have a Chinese version of it according to law, from what I hear. Either that or they're just really, 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 really good knockoffs. All right. Here we are starting. Oh, yeah, we'll look at the picture. So this one also has some of my favorites. The Palace Athene and the Talgis. Very much yes. Very, very much yes. Again, the RX 178. Oh, the FXA 05D plus RX 178 Super Gundam. I don't know. Not quite my thing, but these Zaku infantry are pretty sweet. I'm just wondering if this grenade holder, missile holder, can be put on the right arm instead of the left. Otherwise, it looks like they have the same panel. Because look at that. They're all Zaku 2 high mobility types, just different pilots. So yeah, we'll see. All right, I haven't looked at these since Christmas. Zaku 2 high mobility. That one's not showing up very well. Oh, hey, looky here. Got a gray. Got the black one. So again, that's going to go back into its bags, but we'll look at it. This is a 5 sprue model, and we'll have to get the skinny on it when I look at one of the other Zakus. If anybody out there has an orange standard type Zaku 2 and wants to trade for a new in box, new in bag, new on sprue, unmodified Zaku 2, a high mobility type, Ortega, number 16, hit me up. I'll be happy to trade you. All right, and then this one. This one's the Gaia / MASH use. All right, let's look at the details. Ooh, those instructions are so much nicer. Yeah, not cheap photo. Not cheap photocopies. Yeah, they kind of are. But yeah. Wow, this is an intricate build. This is definitely a take your time, make any modifications you need to on the runners, and have some glue handy when you're doing it. Even if you intend to just push fit the majority of it, looks highly likely there are going to be times where you're going to want to glue some of these little bits. C A B A B C E and D. 39 and 40. Those are thrusters that are going to go in. Looks like, okay, it's going to go in the leg. Thruster, thruster again. But how does that... One through 7. And then A goes on the outside of it. So this is one assembly, and this is another assembly that looks like just pushes on because there's an attachment point there. Oh, that's gonna be fiddly. As are these little guys. Yeah. Anything. The hand's not too bad again. Crazy detailed. There are some really tiny details on here, depending on how obsessive you are. If you're going to do scribing, this is another one for sure. Do the scribing on the sprue. Because my goodness, there are some details on here. And find yourself some nice thin sanding sticks. Wow. Good model. So another question for everybody out there in Gundam World. There are so many variant models of what look to be the standard Gundam, like the FXA-05, or excuse me, that's the RX-178. In the story, is that like just a generic chassis that then various characters will have other equipment slapped onto it, like in Robotech, where they've got the VF1AJS, and then the different colors for Max, Miria, Rick, and all of them, and then the armor for the Battloid or the super boosters and things? Let me know. I'm kind of curious. Or are they just the variations on the RX-178 chassis on different series, different timelines? What? I'm learning. I'm learning, folks. Super Gundam. Okay. Again, he's got the big backpack. Instead of two sides. Two sides. They finally started printing these bigger. Yeah, thrusters and are those Those are thrusters with the attachments to it. Okay. I sound like such a noob. I am a noob when it comes to this. Interesting. Box. Super Gundam. For those of you keeping track, this is number 18. We have 3 more to go after this. I can't believe I'm doing all of these at once. But just watch my build videos to see how insane I am. Okay, another 5 sprue model. A, B, C, D, and E. Nothing much really pops out at me. Well, okay, these parts 85, 94. Okay, so those are pistons for the weapon. Okay. And the head crest, itty teeny tiny, very breakable. Very, very, very breakable. If you're not careful. What is this? Part 66. That's so far 66 and 75. All right, those are little bits that go on the outside of what look to be this primary backpack thrusters that are on the main torso of the unit. Those, oh Lord. Those are other parts that I would leave on the sprue until the last second and then glue them. Because they're a flight / loss risk / breaking risk. And let's see. Here, my fine tip. Yeah. Those are. Here are standard tweezers for comparison. Ouch. Abunayo. Koskate. All right, this is one I've been really looking forward to. Number 19, Pallas Athene. I love the Pallas Athene instead of Pallas Athene. There we are. Nice guns, nice, I assume, missiles, and a big old shield. Single-sided instructions. Everything looks pretty straightforward. I can already tell we're going to have scribing issues with details. B and D. Well, okay. Guess it doesn't matter. C, A, E, B, and D. E, D, C, and A. Oh, wow. Parts 7 and 8. Ah, they go on the head. Nah, not surprising. Okay. 66 and 67 jump out at me right away. And those look like they go on the back of the shield. Okay, so they're protected. That's good, but also keep on sprue and glue them. Part 19. There, that looks, it goes inside the foot. So 19 and 59 are little tiny bitty pieces that appear to be internal for the foot, so you can peg 18, 21, 65, and 60 on. Wow, okay. And I can imagine having issues with 11 and 50, trying to get them into the arm. But it's an artifact. We expect these things, right? Especially for the goddess of wisdom, Pallas Athene. Hunting and such. Okay. Number 20, second to last, Wing Gundam. Looks kind of cool. I don't know how far those wings stick out. Might have to paint that like a bee. Oh boy. Okay. $68. One, two, wings. 2, 3. Attach. Oh Lord. 4. Okay, so 21 and 42 into 20 and 43. That's something to keep an eye out for, as well as 55 into 60 and 38 into 31. Those are probably glue. I'm definitely going to be gluing these for sure, just initially. Where else? 68 is a little part that goes onto the arm there. Depending on how that works out, that may be a put on near the very end and glue. One and two. When did they start doing that? Not on 19. Let's see if they continue that with Series 5. That's a good idea, but I can imagine it eats up a little bit of labor cost, making sure they have them all in there rather than just this is a bag for Unit 20 and this is a bag for Unit 20, and as long as all of the sprues go in there, it doesn't matter what order they're in. But I do like that. That was a thought that I had. Could they do C and D or whatever? Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D. There you are. Where's my trusty pointer? $48 and $56. Yeah, those are tiny little thrusters that go into legs. Glue them. Oh my gosh, 42. Is that a part I talked about already? I have the short-term memory of a goldfish. Oh, look, food. 42. 35. I don't even see where you go. You are itty bitty baby. 42, I was right. Okay, I did mention it. So 42 into 43. Glue. Glue and keep on sprue. Everything else seems pretty par for the course. The detail, of course, being one of the titular Gundam suits, it gets more detail. The wings, if you're going to scribe them, use a stylus version. Let me see if I can find mine real quick. The point, not the chisel shaped. That's, ooh, wow. That's going to be some careful, patient work. So those wings are thin, and I bet it'd be really easy to go through them on accident with a scriber. And everything else looks pretty nifty. Again, well detailed inner shield. Tiny head. But nice kit. Very nice kit. And our last one of the day, folks. Talgeese. And I am in some ways glad that this is the last one, the last kit in the series for now, but also not, because it's the ones that I really want to I want to paint. Yeah, part 2. '71, '72. Go inside. Are those thrusters? Oh, that's armor. Okay. Part 61. Let's look for that. All right, A. Oh, lordy. Okay, detail city. That shield alone is going to be fun for a lot of people who aren't used to painting miniatures, especially tabletop wargaming miniatures like Warhammer or even the Greco-Roman historics with the bird on it. And we were looking for part 61. Here it is. 61 and 62. Those look like they're connector pieces for arms. So be careful with those. It appears to me, yeah, looks like they're going to have to be used. That's where the hand goes in. So you might not have to. Do a dry fit, test fit, and see what, if you're up for gluing the hand to the arm and not having a push fit, you might be able to get away without having to use these because they've got some very delicate parts and tiny little pegs. But otherwise, what? 3? Please tell me you're part of the head. Yes, that's the face of the head. This may be the smallest piece I've seen outside of those on the Nightingale. That's 3 mils, and that's the face. That's the entire face of the model right there. Golly gracious. Okay. Well, hell. And scribing city on some of these. A lot of round parts too. So that's going to be a trick. But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. This one's a fairly straightforward, if nitpicky in some places, build. And that, my friends, make this right, CDBA, has been all 21 Gundam Artifacts from 1 to 21, Series 1 to Series 4 on this January 14th, 2025. I'll look forward to another unboxing video, Series 5, when I get it. But yeah, thank you for watching. I have been Phil, the miniature model maker, and this is a hobby. If you don't find joy in it, don't do it. And be good to each other. Bye bye.